Looky at what I just picked up. Let's take a look at the brand new MacBook Neo. This is something that I just literally picked up from the store. This is completely unopened, and we're going to see if this can run Ecamm Live. All right, let's take a look at this box first. You can see here traditional stuff on the box. This is I think it's called Indigo something. Because the other ones just weren't available. They were all sold out. So anyway, this got 8 gigs of memory and 512 gigabytes of storage. So let's go ahead and open her up. Let's see what we've got in here. Okay. So as always, the traditional stuff of Apple, it just looks good. Everything is just so well done and put together. I mean, the box, the packaging, the fit and finish, everything's just, it's just chef's kiss. And this is kind of new. I mean, I just bought a MacBook M5 a few months ago, and it didn't say this hello thing. So that was kind of neat, unless I completely missed it. So aside from the laptop itself, you've got an empty card holder. Usually there's something in here. MacBook Neo just tells you about the unit itself. So nothing huge, but if you're brand new to MacBooks or Apple products, maybe that is something that you want to have. Then we do have a 20-watt charger, I believe. And I love how, I don't know if you can see it here, but I love how they put gray text on a gray background. Not so great for us who are having aging eyes. And then they've got the good old USB C to C cable in here. So that's neat. Okay, good. So that is there. We're going to put that aside now. Let's take a look and open this. And if you've ever used a MacBook Air, you'll notice that it is super light and they're just amazing. And this is basically no exception. This thing is extremely light. I believe it's under 2 pounds overall. And it is just like literally perfect. Like I'm literally feeling the edges where the top of the clamshell and the bottom meet. And it is perfect. I mean, I've literally never felt other devices on the market from PC manufacturers that essentially are anywhere close to being great. Now on the side here, you can see, let's see if we can get that into focus. On the side here, we've got 2 USB-C ports. Now this is a USB 3 and this is a USB 2 port. Obviously they're trying to cost save on this thing. It's only $600 US. I believe this one is, this is the higher one. So this might be maybe even 700, and this is 1,000 Canadian for this higher end. You've got a 3.5mm headphone port over there. Here is a side firing speaker, and on the other end, you've only got that side firing speaker as well. There's nothing else on this. On the bottom, you've got your nice colorized rubber feet. They're not black rubber feet. They're actually the body matching, so that's really nice. Other than that, pretty typical of MacBook type of stuff. Now we've got that little piece of paper for the screen. I'm just going to put that down, and you can see here, what's really nice is that the keys are color coordinated with the body color. So I'm assuming if you get the Citrus laptop, then this is going to have a little bit more of that yellowy, citrusy kind of a look to it. So that's kind of neat. Really great startup. You can see they've automatically brought in a new background on all of the other Macs. They are pretty much gray. Everything is looking good there, and we're going to see. All right. I mean, the touch, the flow of all of this stuff is pretty much the same here. What you will notice though is if you are MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, or a user, or even the regular MacBooks, that this trackpad is significantly smaller. It is remarkably smaller. Now, it can still fit 4 fingers. It still feels really good, but what you'll also notice about this trackpad that's different versus all the other ones are the other ones have just a tactile press. They actually don't physically move at all. There's a little haptic sensor inside underneath the trackpad on the higher end models, and that gives you a sense of a click, but it's actually not really clicking at all. Whereas this unit here, again, to keep those costs down, this is actually a physical pad that goes up and down. Now, I understand that you can press anywhere on the unit and it registers as a click, but we're going to boot that up and find out.
Australian English is the main language. Press the return key.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to use Australian English because that sounds awesome. So let's see as I continue going through here. And the next setup, I mean, you can skip through this. I'm going to skip through it right now. So I am in Canada. And anyway, fast forward. All right, I just entered my Wi-Fi password. So now the Mac is going to be registered on Apple. And I got to say, it feels pretty good. I'm going to admit, though, that it's not the same feeling as a MacBook Pro or even the MacBook Airs. Now, I've not tried the new M5 MacBook Air, but I have tried the M4, I think is what it is, and then definitely the M5 MacBook Pro 14-inch. And they just have this really, really nice, solid feel to it. Now, don't get me wrong, this is really, really nice, but it's just not the same. Although I believe they said the keyboard is the exact same, but I have to just double check a lot of that as well. All right, so the software is updated, or I'm going to update later. I'm going to admit it takes a little bit of getting used to this new trackpad because there is a physical movement on it. I guess I've just been so spoiled with the new haptic touchpads that this one is going to be a little bit different. This is definitely MacBook. It is really good, high quality. The screen gets pretty bright. I would say that in my office, I definitely cannot use this at full brightness. For me, comfortably, it looks like it's going to be around 50% to maybe, yeah, 50% is probably what I would use it at in my office. My office isn't the brightest, but it's definitely doable, and I have more ambient lighting inside of the studio here. But overall, it's really good. Now, in terms of the screen itself, the size, it's a smaller size for me. I'm used to using a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but overall, the color is very, very good. I'm going to say this is very, very vibrant. But here's the big question. Does Ecamm Live work on the MacBook Neo? Let's install it and let's check it out. Okay, so all we have to do is we have to drag this into our applications folder. It didn't yell at me, so it did definitely work. And now here we are. We're going to open up Ecamm Live, and it's going to show you a visual of my ceiling and the camera above. But yeah, it's safe to open. Yep, definitely allow all the permissions that Ecamm Live needs. We're going to say use iPhone as a webcam. Yep, we're going to allow, accept the terms. And there is my ceiling. And let me just log in right now. Okay. Ecamm Live is working on this thing. It is actually working. Wow. That is unbelievable. Here, let me just switch this. Yes, okay, you're looking at the camera at the top of the ceiling. But let's dim that a bit. You can see here that it's working fine. And yeah, I'm really surprised. So we're going to hit some settings. 1080p, 30 frames per second. Yeah, let's do with that. Let's deal without isolated video for now. And we're going to leave everything else as it is. Okay. Let's record. Hey guys, this is the MacBook Neo, and I'm hitting record. This is running at 1080p, 30 frames a second, and you're looking at me on the MacBook Neo webcam. This is a 1080p webcam, and I would like to know, what do you think of the video quality itself, as well as the audio quality, because the microphone that's being used right now is the MacBook Neo. Okay, well, that was a successful run. Let's see what happens when we play it. Hey guys, this is the MacBook Neo, and I'm hitting record. This is running at 1080p, 30 frames a second, and you're looking at me on the MacBook Neo webcam. This is a 1080p webcam, and I would like to know, what do you think of the video quality itself, as well as the audio quality, because the microphone that's being used right now is the MacBook Neo. All right. I am quite shocked, to be honest with you, that it is working relatively well. Now, I just did one simple test. This is the most basics of using Ecamm Live on any computer system, and it definitely has passed that test. Now, we have to understand that this A18 processor or system on a chip is really good. It's not just from an iPhone. It actually is statistically faster than the M1 chip that came out about 5 or 6 years ago. So this is a very capable computer system. Now, it does definitely have some limitations in terms of how many GPU cores it has, CPU cores, and you are limited to the 8 gigabytes of memory, so that is definitely some form of a limitation that might stop you from doing some of the more advanced features. However, just recording a 1080p 30 video file, I had no issues with that whatsoever. There's no fans. I don't feel, sorry, there's definitely no fans in here. The laptop is not warm at all, even though that was maybe a 15 to 30 second recording. So now let's dive in a little bit deeper. I'm going to go ahead and connect this to my Zoom account, and we're going to run a Zoom meeting. Let's see how that goes. All right, I now have Zoom connected to Ecamm Live. So you can see here down in this area here, this is Ecamm for Zoom. So I am going to go ahead and start a brand new meeting. Now I am purposely not connecting this to a display card so that you can capture it inside of Ecamm Live and this video that you're watching right now. I'm doing that purposely because I want to see how this laptop works by itself without any hindrances of additional connections with USB devices and so forth. And this is just connected by Wi-Fi right now, so it should be fine. And let's see. So this is Zoom that's running right now. And let me just go in and dive a little bit deeper into this. And let's create another scene. Share. Okay, let's just restart Ecamm because I had to do some new settings. I'm going to start the meeting again. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry. I get it, but this is just literally a first feeling on how this is running. All right, so that is Zoom. It is watching. I'm going to move that over here into the corner so you can see that. I'll move this down here. We'll get rid of this window. I mean, so far, I'm going to be really frank with you. It is working. Now, is this something that I would use on a bigger production? No, because my MacBook Airs have definitely failed. They definitely throttle, and that is not something that is fun at all. So let's do a recording. So we're now recording on Ecamm Live, and we're going to see how this affects the temperature of the unit itself. I don't have my thermal camera with me at all right now. I've got rid of it, but we're going to see if this does anything. I mean, aside from that, that's not a problem. All right. I mean, so far this thing is working well. It's a non-issue. And wow, for under $1,000, remarkably, I mean, $1,000 Canadian for this, which is, I think, this is the Touch ID model with 512 gigs, still only 8 gigabytes of memory. But I think this is like 600 or 700 US dollars, and it's not skipping a beat right now. So this is quite remarkable. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start doing a live stream to my YouTube channel. It's going to be an unlisted channel or an unlisted stream. So let's see what happens there. So let's end that. Okay, so I'm going to now log in as a destination, and I'm going to do a live stream. So let's do this. I'm going to go to this channel. I'm going to go to unlisted and this MacBook Neo test. All right, and we're just going to do normal latency because I'm just going to see how the quality is on the live stream afterwards. And let's go live now. All right, so we're now going live to both YouTube as well as into this private Zoom meeting. Now, the view that you're seeing right now is a little bit janky and delayed, but that's just because of the camera that I'm using right now. I'm not 100% sure why that one's working like it is, but the key is will this computer system continue on working, or will it start to thermally throttle itself? Because that's one of the challenges with the MacBook Air, is that because there's no moving fan in it, it starts to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And the hotter that it gets, because you don't want it to be damaged, or it doesn't want to get damaged, it's going to start to slow down the processing on it. But overall, right now, I don't see any issues on this at all. The temperature on the bottom is getting a little bit warm around this zone here on the keyboard, around here. But overall, it is still running very well. And let's do a share. And then we'll add another overlay, which will be our camera. So where's my overlays panel? It is there. Okay, now let's add a camera. I mean, it's running really, really well right now, and I'm not having any issues as of yet. I don't feel the keyboard getting warm or hot at all, and the bottom is working extremely. I mean, it's normally it's normal operating temperature. Now let's see what happens when I open up another tab and I start playing a video. Let's see how that runs. Operating temperature. Okay, so now let's see what happens when I would like to mute that. Let's see how this goes. It is still quite responsive. I'm not having any issues with the computer itself. I don't feel any overheating. And it's been running for about 2.5, almost 3 minutes now. I gotta say, I think this could be a winner. I mean, if this is an entry-level computer system and you're doing the basics of it, then this actually might work. I mean, obviously, don't do anything crazy. Don't do a lot of the harder end productions. Keep the productions really to a, not necessarily 30, 60, 90 minutes, but definitely get something like this. This is a laptop cooler. This is the one that I use for my own MacBooks. It is actually really good, and it's very, very quiet, and that's the one thing. When I'm using my laptops and I put it on here and I power this on, it actually does keep the laptop relatively cool, bringing it down a few degrees, but I don't hear these whirring fans all the time. And for me, that's quite important to ensure that I'm not being bothered by any fan noise. In terms of this MacBook Neo, it is still running, and it's not running like it's not stuttering or anything like that. Now there could be many different reasons why it's actually working really well. Now I would say that if this is a daily driver, that is, if you're going to be using this for daily usage, all your different apps and your browsing and all that type of stuff, and there's going to be installations of different applications, I would probably not use this as your production machine. The reason why is because as you start to install more software, things start to run in the background and they start to use more CPU, maybe even sometimes GPU, depending upon what application it is. And that is going to cause Ecamm Live to have less resources. It's going to cause more RAM usage on the computer system. And that is what your computer needs to be able to operate. Because this only has 8 gigs, it's going to use a lot of that swap file on the SSD itself. And this is a 512 gig SSD. Now, it's not the fastest in the world. In fact, I believe different reports online show that it's considerably slower than even the M1 MacBooks. And because of that, if you are recording files on your Ecamm Live, then you might have some problems there. So let's go back and let's just do a couple things. I'm going to go to the recording tab, and I'm going to also record camera A. And I can't really record anybody in camera B right now or any other cameras because I don't have any Zoom guests. But you can see here at the top right, everything is working fine. Let's go to activity monitor. All right, so you can see here at the very bottom, Let's change that so you can see the bottom. You can see it's about 23% resource utilization available. So it's called idle. User is about 40%, and then the system operating, like the system apps themselves, are using about 25 to 30%, leaving about 25 and as peaking as high as 40% there. Not that bad. From a resource utilization side of things, pretty good, pretty average, pretty normal, especially considering that this is an iPhone chip. Now take a look at this. So this is my area of concern. Basically, what's happening is it is using right now all 8 gigs of memory and is caching about 1 gigabyte of that on the computer system. So it's using the SSD and not so great. So compression or compressed memory is about 2 gigs. You can see. Oh no, sorry, there's no swap used on the hard drive, but it is basically maxing out of the 8 gigs. So if I run more applications that are running in the background because I installed them, then we could potentially run into some issues and challenges. Now let's feel the back again. It's definitely a little bit warmer, but I have had other computer systems exhibit a significant amount more heat than this one. I'm not pushing it to its max, to its limits right now. I don't have other overlays. I'm not really playing other videos inside of Ecamm Live. I'm only processing 1 or 2 small video files, and it's running at 1080p. So overall, I would definitely say that this is shocking to me. This is actually a computer system that is doing very, very well, considering that this is an iPhone SoC, or system on a chip. I personally would not use this in any of my productions that I need to ensure that it's working smoothly, because I just can't. I can't deal with any problems like that, especially when I'm using it for clients and they're paying me good money. However, if this can do what I was just doing with Ecamm Live and Zoom right now, as a daily driver, this is a phenomenal laptop. So for any students, for kids who are needing laptops for school now, I mean, I don't see why you would not get this. It is so affordable. And for all of those Windows laptop developers and creators and manufacturers that are out there, you guys are going to run into some major problems, because Apple is going to take a huge bite out of your market share because of the entry-level price of this laptop, but the high performance at such a low price. So, can it run Ecamm? Yes, absolutely can run Ecamm. In my personal opinion, would I use it for mission critical productions? I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say absolutely no. I'm just going to say we have to find out. But if this is anywhat similar to the MacBook Airs, definitely in my productions, MacBook Airs were not able to handle the processing load, especially when I had Zoom attendees, hundreds and hundreds of Zoom attendees in there, and I'm processing that data and information and multiple speakers, and I definitely maxed out the MacBook Airs. But for basic, simple stuff, if you're just recording a camera and getting your audio in, doing a couple scene changes with showing some slides or a browser, I actually think it could work. So anyway, thanks for watching this pretty long video. If hopefully you enjoyed it, and you're going to start to find out a lot more Ecamm tutorials on this channel moving forward. It is the #1 easiest to learn yet most powerful live streaming and recording and podcasting software available on Mac, and I can teach people in just a matter of a few hours to the point where they're very comfortable with it. So thanks for watching again. Go ahead and click on this playlist video over here for some other cool videos about different gear, as well as Ecamm Live. See you guys later.